Okay, y'all. Um, so I hit the wrong button again, but back over there is my vehicle over in the parking lot. Just walked this path right through here, and here is one of the redoubts. This is fortifications they would place here to keep enemies from going in. You see, during the Revolutionary War, this was a very important battle because what happened was that Washington got a really good opportunity to seize and attack Cornwallis and his troops that were garrisoned here. So that's what they had. That's what they did. And this is probably all reconstruction, but it gives you an idea of what things must have been like for Washington's troops to come here and fight. I mean, this is pretty amazing, really, for me anyway, because this is where it really took place. This is what happened. This is where it all, yeah, on this line at the siege of Yorktown on October 14th, 1781. At night, the battalions of, there's so much sand covering that. Jamat Hamilton. Is that a P right there? Yeah. And Lawrence of the Light Infantry Division of Major General Marquis de Lafayette under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Hamilton with unloaded muskets and fixed bayonets. Wow. Okay. Wow. Unloaded muskets, fixed bayonets, scaled the parapets, and gallantly captured redoubt number 10, which formed the extreme left outlying defenses of the British, and so hastened the surrender of Yorktown in the last fighting of the troops of General George Washington. Wow. So they attacked this area. This is redoubt number 10. And they attacked this area with unloaded muskets. Absolutely unloaded muskets. This is really something to me. I mean, this is part of where America started, right here. All of this land right here. This is where it started. There's another one down through here. We're going to go see it real quick. This time, I'm going to try to push the right buttons. But before I do, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing, liking. I really do appreciate everyone. I sincerely do for watching. I mean, now the channel is up over 3,810 subscribers. But just want to say I thank you all so much for all of that. I've got a lot of garage content, and I hope you enjoy this traveling content because I do enjoy traveling. Okay, so let's let me pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I walked. I don't know if you can see it off in the distance. There's a cars parked way over there. Okay, I walked from over there over here. As you can see, I can't find the other redoubt, but this valley right here, this isn't naturally occurring. This was done by the British troops by hand, and if you see how big it is, it's really impressive that they were able to do this by hand. Of course, there was probably lots and lots of people doing it. Wasn't 2 or 3 guys, with a couple of shovels, and but I just think it's really impressive. They were able to do this. So British troops were probably stationed up there. And if you look, you see how that this tree, how that the branches on that tree are growing. It seems like they're growing pretty low, but I don't think so. I think the actual surface where that tree is coming out of is lower. So it's kind of like a pit up there in the top of that hill, or at the top of that. Not really a hill, but to provide some cover for the British troops that were shooting from there because they were protecting Yorktown. You see Cornwallis, he was counting on a naval element to come up the York River, which is just over yonder. So they were supposed to come up here, and they weren't able to because they got attacked and weren't able to come up the river and give Cornwallis his backup. So that's what happened to him. So this is pretty amazing. What's even more amazing is that some of the same ground saw some of the same activity years later in the Civil War. So, all right, I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. I love these split rail fences. They're really something. Okay, y'all, I walked from over there and came over here, and here is a better look at a parapet they dug. It's just a big trench, basically a big ditch. The British did this, and their troops were most likely on the other side. I would imagine that Washington's troops were coming from probably over here somewhere. So, if the opposing army has to run down into this parapet here, then you've got the other army, the British army in this case, they're up here and they're able to shoot down. They have the high ground. They even have the high ground if the troops are over here on this hill, like where I'm standing right now. So, however, it's very, very important for an army to protect its flanks. So see, the parapet does not extend this way. It only goes to right there. So, but it's pretty this kind of stuff really is, it just leaves me in awe, really. I don't have a lot to really say about it. I will tell you this: if you do come here, please do not do not get on the earthworks. Do not try and be, I don't know, some kind of person that's gonna climb up in the earthworks and be the conqueror or whatever, just be a good person. Don't act like a jerk. It's just, I imagine that really massive tree right there, and some of these other trees were some of these other large trees were probably, I wonder if they were around and all this chaotic fighting and battles were going on at the time. It must have been incredible. To see a little hump right here. I remember, I'll tell you a little something funny. I remember I watched a history special about the Revolutionary War, and that some of the British troops were riding home to their families, and they were saying that they I just get tickled every time I hear this, that the American troops weren't fighting fair. Now, one other thing I want to point out real quickly is that these parapets, over there in that redoubt where we saw all the logs sticking out of the ground, they would have done something like that here, possibly, to keep people from going down in those pits and then climbing back up. It would have made it very, very hard for somebody to do that. If you even climbed down in there, you were very, very vulnerable. The other opposing force up there would have had the high ground and would have been able to basically shoot at you and pick you off at will. So it looks like the rail fence got destroyed right here. Yeah, see, area closed. Yeah. So this is part of the national park system. But yeah, the British troops were riding home and they were saying the Americans don't fight fair. And they hide behind stuff. And they don't stand out there so you can shoot at them. I just thought that was so crazy. And just funny all at the same time, because it just really struck me as funny. Because, I think most anybody, especially anyone, that self-preservation, you want to get out of the way of the bullets coming at you. Somebody shooting in your direction, you're going to get out of the damn way. I know ages ago I helped my dad cut down this really massive tree. It was very, very tall. And as soon as we had it going the way it was supposed to go, I got it going the way it was supposed to go. I turned loose the rope and I ran like hell. That same kind of thinking there, that self-preservation. So, yeah, I wonder if a tree this massive, I wonder if that would have been around back then as a young little sapling or something. Because that's a big house of a tree. Yeah, it's really massive. So, okay. There's another one right there. It's pretty good size. All right, I'm going to pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, so that redoubt over there, number 10, that we saw earlier, tells that some of it was lost to the crumbling riverbanks by erosion. So, okay. I'm going to carry on here, get right back to you. So here you go. Here's a replica of one of the cannons that was used during the time of the Revolutionary War here. As you can see, it's just your typical cannon of the day, but very, very useful. Very much. Ease forward just a little bit so I can get it. Yeah, very much something that was much in need at the time. So those redoubts we saw earlier and all the fortifications we saw earlier would have been hammered with cannon like that. So yeah, they would have gotten bombarded by a cannon like that right there. So it's really amazing to think that this is where a lot of stuff was happening. How does it make you feel?
It's humbling.
Yeah, it really is. It's really humbling. So I'm gonna flip this around here. We're going on a trail that is you can do this tour in your car. Bit of a lake right here that's got a bunch of dead trees in it. Oh no. Oh no. Go ahead. You can do this tour in your car, and it's only like $17 for an entire car full of people, which is really neat. Part of the national park system. So I'm going to pause this and I'll get right back to you. Alrighty. So Washington's headquarters were in this general area right here. And it's where he met with a lot of his other generals and people like that. Commanders. They were planning the attack on the British redoubts, number 9 and 10. So anyway. You know, like my wife said earlier, it's pretty humbling to see all of this. There's a graveyard over here. I'm going to capture a little bit of video over here. Now, one of the things about graveyards way back when is that sometimes the so there's a whole lot they say on here, but a lot of graveyards like this, these tombstones would get lost or destroyed, especially, or if they were wooden, they would literally rot away after so many years. So, but this here was placed here in 1999, which is a little over 20 years ago now. So you can see how the stone has aged, but of course there's a lot of trees here that are depositing on it as well. So there's more than just, there's one headstone, but there's more than just one person buried here. So, pretty awesome. Okay.
Best used for battering structures and harassing enemy lines. Mortars were larger and fired explosive bombs, aimed so that they could be dropped behind enemy fortifications. Finally, there were the howitzers, which were built to be a hybrid of cannons and mortars. Mobile and capable of firing both flat and high shots, howitzers were extremely